Okay, so I watched the new Liam Neeson action thriller today called The Ice Roads. This is a movie that I was curious to say the least. I wasn't excited, but I was curious to see what this movie can offer. And one of the main reasons for why I wanted to see this movie was Liam Neeson. I mean, this guy is no surprise to the action genre. And at this point in this guy's career, he can survive any possible action scenario out there. And yeah, like I think Liam Neeson, I think he's a great actor. And especially for how old he is now, he's still going strong in these action thriller movies that he is making. And I think Liam Neeson is really good in this movie. But before I get to all that, I just want to say when I saw the trailer to this movie a few months back, I thought the trailer to this movie looked pretty mediocre, to be honest. Like the trailer, it didn't thrill me. Um, I didn't really like that trailer at all. I mean, I think the premise of what the trailer was setting up, I think was very promising. I think could make for a really cool, intense movie. But then on the other hand, the poster of this movie I love, like as in I love that poster. I think that is such a great poster design right there. And now going into the movie, I've seen it myself now, and I can officially report to you all that the Ice Roads. This is a dumb, fun, enjoyable action movie. This is a movie that once it actually does get to all of the action sequences and the intense sequences that you expect to see when you come to an action thriller movie starring Liam Neeson. This movie definitely has a lot of those sequences. Like the first act of this movie is like we're setting up the relationship between Neeson's character and his brother, and that's a relationship that continues into the second act and the third act with scenarios that happen throughout those two acts. I won't get into spoilers because I don't know how many people have seen this movie. Like I'll put it in the title anyways, like no spoilers or non spoilers or whatever. Which that relationship is one of the elements I really liked in this movie. Like I felt like the movie it had a good maybe 20 to 25 minutes at the start of this movie that was actually building character. Like we were getting to know kind of from Liam Neeson's perspective of why he kind of cares for his brother like as much as he does, and just and just their bond and their relationship that they have, and the skills that his brother has like with trucks and all that. Like his skills definitely do play a big part, especially in the second and the third act when when shit does eventually hit the fan in this movie. I thought the relationship, while it wasn't great, like it's better than some other movies I've seen that type of a relationship in. And I thought the movie, I think it did a good job at kind of expanding it and fleshing it out as well as it can. And and now let's get down to business. How are the action scenes? How are the chase scenes? How is the intensity in this movie? There is a lot of intense sequences. Like basically from the moment they get onto this ice, it is non-stop adrenaline. Like there's an entire scene when one of the trucks, I can't get into spoilers here, where one of the trucks starts falling into water and something happens to a character, and just like in that entire sequence and montage I loved. I was a very gripping scene for me. um and what else can I say? There's not as much shootouts in this movie. There's maybe one that I can think of at the end of this movie where Liam Neeson is on top of a truck, but that scene maybe only lasts like 45 seconds. Like this movie is more intense than action packed. Um, and there's like I was surprised at how intense this movie was, because I was finding myself, because I saw this movie in a theater, and I found myself like really really getting into those scenes, because the movie has like it starts off with some slow building tension. Then as the movie goes along, It's just like the tension goes from like a 1 to a 50 in like 2 minutes. And just like that, like those small moments of slow building tension, it really helps make the bigger moments of tension look much more terrifying, if you want to phrase it that way. Um, but yeah, and as far as these special effects, like yeah, they do look cheap in this movie, but that was mainly in the first like 5 minutes in the opening. So in this movie, I was just like, is this really what the special effects are gonna look like? But then, yeah, throughout the movie, like I would say, some of the special effects, they did get better. Um, but yeah, this is a movie that for the most part I really enjoyed. Like I think yes, there are some problems with the script and the dialogue, and some of the characters. Also, that's another thing. The characters in this movie, outside of Liam Neeson and his brother, all of the characters in this movie are boring. Like there's one character's name that is continuously like said in this movie, and the whole time I was just like, who is this character? Have we even been introduced to this character? And I had no idea who this character was, but his name keeps getting brought up into conversations. And I was just like, who the hell is this? But yeah, I think outside of that, this is a really fun movie, and I really enjoyed it. Um, I wouldn't say this is a movie you have to rush out to see. Like I think in some countries this movie is available on Netflix. In Australia, this movie was only in theaters. We didn't get this movie on Netflix, but I know in some countries this movie is free to access on Netflix. And I would say, yeah, that's the best way to watch this movie is watch it on Netflix. But yeah, that's my review of The Ice Roads.